just because it is not scared of you. It is a really subtle whiskey, but subtle does not mean that it doesn't have strong flavors. It definitely has strong flavors. Let me tell you about it. It is, so all of this stuff comes off the still as blue corn whiskey. I'm actually distilling that in the other room we'll look at later right now. Whether it grows up to be baby blue or true blue gets decided obviously over time. Brimstone gets born right after distillation. What do I mean? I'm actually smoking the whiskey with oak smoke, Texas scrub oak smoke. So this is the stuff that struggled to live out in the hill country that ranchers won't cut down because it's, choking up the water and the air on their grass. But like wine grapes, struggle equals character. So the fact that it's a pain in the butt to split and all this other stuff, but it has a lot of oily, rich flavor components to it. So you're probably wondering, how in the hell do they smoke whiskey? And probably wishing that I'd tell you. So I'll just go ahead and tell you that I'm not going to tell you. But very carefully. The only answer is we'll tell people is very carefully. You don't have to be, a genius to figure out what could go wrong when you mix fire and whiskey together in close proximity. So anyway, enough said about that. So, tasting notes. This one's done at 53% alcohol. I do it at that proof because there are a lot of dimensions to this whiskey, so just kind of give you a little bit. I don't know how many can see color. There's a sweetness in this whiskey that fades as you go down in proof. It's really nice at lower proofs. The smoke persists and changes, but the whiskey gets more austere as you proof it down, which is also quite nice. But I wanted you to have a chance to taste it where you've got that balance of sweetness and smoke and everything else. So the best analogy to kind of help you understand what kind of smoky character is, if you've ever had meat, maybe Texas barbecue, that has been smoked a very long time with very cool, gentle smoke. The smoke aroma you're talking about, if you've ever been camping and used quality wood on the campfire, you've had a flannel shirt on maybe for 2 days and the makeup and you put it on, it's the perfume of the smoke. That's the aroma we're talking about. Okay? You have to take 2 sips of Brimstone. The first one might scare you a little bit. And I say that, I don't want to say that, but it's really smoky. But it's kind of, once you walk into the cloud, you're almost scared what's going to happen. But then there's a lot of subtlety there. And, I'll say the second sip is where you're really going to get hooked. The truth is the third sip is where you're going to really get hooked. But if I can get you to the second sip, you'll go to the third and the fourth on your own. Deep, bassy notes, sort of smoked peaches, apricots. The corn is in there, but it's kind of floating around in the ether. Obviously, lots of that refined smoke like you get in a European, Northern European smoked meat, maybe a really long, cold smoked trout, something like that. Sounds like a weird thing to put alongside with whiskey. But the oiliness of it, actually, it all works really well together. A little anecdote that's interesting about this that I cannot explain. Women, and especially those that wouldn't even call themselves whiskey drinkers, tend to love Brimstone. I don't know why. You would think that the one with sort of the most full palate, or how do you characterize it? Like you would Lafroig or something like that, would be something you'd pour later in someone's whiskey career. But there it is. There's a kind of muskiness. I guess that's what I'm getting at. There's a muskiness that you get in Brimstone and a unique set of flavors. This is feedback I've gotten that this is unlike other whiskeys you're going to try. So, there really isn't another whiskey that's remotely similar to Brimstone because of how it's brought.